In Ko, the kingdom I was born in, Sankyaku and Kaikyaku lead a life even tougher than that of refugees.
You see, I've never met one before.
Sankyaku and Kaikyaku also bring unusual things into this world. For example, things like paper, ceramics, printing, medicine, and even Buddhism.
Is that true?
In fact, the very first temple was built in Ho. During the Hitsuo era, the Sankyaku who came to Ho built a temple.
Who is Hitsuo?
If I remember correctly, it was the 12th or 13th ruler of Ho.
But how do you know so much about all of this information?
Because the present Queen of Kei also happens to be a Kaikyaku. So it's true that there are Yoma, and they still haunt this kingdom. Look, you see that? That's Mount Koshu over there. And beyond that mountain is the kingdom of En.
I don't understand.
What don't you understand? Aren't you glad that we made it here safely?
Yes, I am, but I can't help but wonder why the guards only checked your pass. Especially because I'm not even carrying a pass. Yet they let us through so easily. Just who are you anyway?
Well, it's kind of a long story.
But... Amazing! Is this En?
It is the most wealthy kingdom among the kingdoms in the north.
But what are its resources? Gyoku or granite, maybe?
Actually, there are no valuable mines here in this kingdom. All they have is the land. People here grow wheat and raise cows, and that's about all they do.
But then, why does it look so different from my kingdom, or even Ryu for that matter?
That's because the king of En is a man of high caliber. It makes a big difference when the same king has been ruling the kingdom for 500 years.
So then...
When a ruler is on the throne, the kingdom suffers very few natural disasters. That allows people to tend the land and get more grain stock. Flood control, town management, and everything else here follow the same policy. I feel sorry for a kingdom with a short-lived ruler. It doesn't matter if there are beautiful shops or fine lands, because one flood can wipe them all out.
I see. And that might happen to Ho. People won't be able to harvest anything because of natural disasters, and they'll starve. And all because the ruler of the kingdom is gone.
Your father, King Ho, I suppose I should call him Retsuo now, was known for his very strict laws and punishment. There's never been a case where a cruel ruler like him has lasted for a very long time. Not only were the people tyrannized by him, but now they'll have to suffer calamities until a new ruler ascends the throne. I sure feel sorry for the people of Ho.
Every ruler does his best for the sake of the people who make up his kingdom. Punishment might be necessary when people become reckless. My father despised bribery. He demanded that his people and officials be honest. Thus, he would never forgive those who wouldn't work hard, or stole, or evaded their taxes. Father wanted Ho to be a pure and beautiful kingdom.
Although discipline is needed to maintain a kingdom, there needs to be a limit regarding things of such a serious nature. The mere fact that the king fell clearly suggests that he had taken it too far.
King Ho didn't lose his position on the throne because it was supposed to be his fate. He was brutally murdered by that usurper.
Princess, I want you to take a good look and remember.
No, please wait!
Killing a ruler is a serious crime. And if the Lord of Kei dared to commit such a crime, then perhaps it was the only way to stop the king from causing an even more serious crisis throughout the kingdom. The situation must have been so desperate that he had no choice.
Come to think of it, everyone seemed to praise that murderer, Geke. I was sent to Arike. There I spent my days feeling miserable, watching myself age. And I despised the mean mistress of the Rike who treated me horribly, knowing who I really was. Soon, my identity was revealed to everyone, and Geke had to take me away from there. Then I was sent to the kingdom of Kyo and became a servant of Queen Kyo, Shusho. Everyone detested me, even though I hadn't done anything wrong. Soon, a hatred grew inside me toward Queen K. In no time at all, she had gained everything I had lost. One day, I stole the treasures from Queen Kyo and escaped to the kingdom of Ryu, but I was captured quite easily. Wait! What's going on? There I was, having lost everything in exchange for freedom. Then I was saved by a Hanju named Rakashun.
It seems that I know more about Ho than the Princess of Ho. That should be much more embarrassing to you than having to wear what you call rags, don't you think?
I was repelled by Rakashun's words, but at the same time, they rang deep inside me. This vision of a deteriorating kingdom, Ryu, represents the Ho of tomorrow, or perhaps even today. I didn't really know what would happen to a kingdom without its ruler. I just pretended that I knew. My goodness, I really don't know anything, do I?
I would imagine that what the Lord of K did must have looked cruel to you at that moment, but...
I understand now. What kind of state the kingdom was in. I used to aimlessly spend my days doing nothing at the palace, and I didn't even bother to find out what was going on. That's why I'm being punished. I didn't know anything, so Geke revoked my contract of immortals. Of course, since there was no way I'd be able to live on my own, he sent me to Arike. How could I have been so foolish all of this time?
She once said the same thing, that she had been so foolish. She wondered if she would ever be able to be a good queen.
Who is this you're talking about?
Nobody.
Rakashun, may I take a look at your past for a moment? It looks like this pass has been endorsed by the Chosai of the Kingdom of En. How did you get this?
Well, I don't personally know the Chosai. You see, I borrowed the Suugu from someone that... Actually, I sort of happen to know the Queen of K, so I...
What? But how?
As I'm sure you can plainly see, I'm what's known as a Hanju. The Queen of K once told me that after you know someone well, the only thing that can come between you is distance. So... I suppose you could say that I am her friend. You see, I found her dying in the woods, and then I traveled with her all the way to En.
Queen K was dying in the woods?
Because she's a Kaikyaku. Sakuo of Ko had very strict laws regarding Kaikyaku.
I never knew she suffered like that.
To tell you the truth, I thought that maybe I could get a job as a reward for taking her to En. But as I spent time with her, I realized that I was being servile. Nonetheless, when I was asked what I wanted, I said I wanted to get into a Daigaku. You know, when we were in that holding cell together, you looked just like Queen K did when I first met her.
I looked like Queen K?
You looked as if you were suffering so much that you couldn't bear it anymore.
So then, is that why you decided to save me, too?
I think it was more than likely just the way my luck happens to work out.
So tell me, what is Queen K like?
I think she's about the same age as you are. But you're a lot more feminine than she is. She also tends to be somewhat blunt.
Do you still keep in touch with her?
Well, actually, she's been missing. Yoko is the name she had while she was in Horai, held her coronation ceremony at the end of last year. It was very grand. But after finally becoming a queen, she found she wasn't happy. You see, she didn't know anything about this world. Besides that, the previous ruler of K had a short reign, so the ministers at the royal court had been running the kingdom for many years. The administrators were divided over how to handle the issue regarding the treatment of Kokan of Baku province. There was a rumor circulating that Kokan was plotting to revolt, but Yoko didn't take any action on how Kokan should be dealt with. Instead, she thought it would be best to talk with him about it first. But then, the night she was visiting the Taishi's home,
These weapons can kill Zenin! The Sanku, including you and the Taisai, have been conspiring to kill the Queen with the help of Kokan!
Please forgive me for this. Oh, I can't.
Fire at her!
Yoko had come very close to losing her life that night. And not long after that, she disappeared from the royal palace.
Disappeared? You mean she resigned from being the ruler?
I suppose it might seem that way to you. She told the ministers that she was going to the Kingdom of N, but I heard she's actually living somewhere in K right now.
But if she... Without the ruler, won't the Kingdom of K fall back into ruin again?
That's true. But I think I know what Yoko is doing. It's all starting to make a lot more sense to me now. She doesn't really know much about this place. And that lack of knowledge put her in a position of doing whatever the ministers say. So it's like she's more of a servant to them than their queen. And of course, the ministers try to control the kingdom for their sole benefit. It got to a point where she couldn't decide anything on her own. And when she was almost killed, she couldn't understand why someone would try to kill her. I guess it finally got to a point where she didn't want it to be like that anymore.
Then she's...
I would imagine that she's probably still somewhere, right out there, in this world, trying to understand it better. Trying to learn about it, and find out what she needs to know. And then someday she'll come back to her throne.
What makes you so sure? She might have just decided to run away.
Well, I believe in her.
To tell you the truth, I was actually planning to go to K.
Really?
I was going to get a job as an official and get close to Queen K. And then I'd win her favor. And if the chance ever came up, I was going to do whatever I had to take over the throne.
Huh?
Part of me was very seriously considering it, too. Does that make you angry?
I'm not angry with you, but if something like that were to ever really happen, I wouldn't be able to ever show my face to her again.
I was going to Tai first because I heard there was a place in K where refugees could obtain land and get their citizenship. You see, I was once the princess of the Kingdom of Ho. And I guess I just couldn't get myself to throw away all of my royal pride. I didn't want to forget the luxurious life I had in the palace. I was ashamed of working in the fields and wearing ragged clothes. So when I eventually heard that Queen K was very close to the same age as me, I got very jealous of her.
I understand.
And to be honest, I still feel quite uncomfortable staying in common inns or wearing these clothes. But I realize that for the time being, this is how I'm going to have to live.
The Princess of Ho was basically punished because she didn't know what she was supposed to be doing. But you can't regret what happened in the past right now. After all, your life seems to be just getting started again, doesn't it? Don't forget that a ruler wouldn't be able to have a second chance like this. But now that your social status is that of a common citizen, there's nothing that you can't try again for yourself.
Then I've decided. I still want to go to Kay after all. You see, Queen Kay told her friend how foolish she felt, so I'm interested in seeing what kind of kingdom she would build. Rakashun? Wait, where are you going? Are you mad? Rakashun!
Oh, I'm really sorry about that. Did he give you a little scare? I made him wait here for me. He was supposed to take me back to Konkyu from here, but if you want, I'll take you to the border of Kay on him.
Aren't you worried at all after what I told you before?
No, I think you should go. And see Kay with your own eyes. And if you ever happen to meet her, please ask her how she's been doing from me.
You know, I'm just beginning to notice this, but you must be feeling very warm and cozy.
For right now. But I tend to get pretty exhausted by it during the summer.
I will dress my doll in a new gown of gold. My doll.
She said she was born in the Meiji era. I don't know if it's true or not. Her name was Suzu Ooki.
When I came to, I was floating in the Kyokai. Fortunately, I was rescued from the sea. But the next 4 years were sheer hell. I'm sure you know how hard it is not being able to communicate. So when I found out that I would be able to communicate in this world if I became a Sennin, I begged Lady Rio to make me a Sennin.
But Lady Rio turned out to be a terrible woman. She made Suzu her servant, and then she tormented her for 100 years. It seemed to Suzu like it would never end.
I was just so sad. I couldn't understand why I deserved to be in such pain. So,
when Suzu learned that Queen Kay was also a Kaikyaku, and about the same age as her, she thought that Queen Kay would be able to save her from her misery. Although Suzu had not yet met the Queen of Kay, she successfully escaped to Sai and met Queen Sai. But just like Rio, what Queen Sai offered was also a disappointment to Suzu.
she said that I should grow up, and she wouldn't let me stay in the royal palace. After all, it seemed that no one I met could understand my pain. That's why I decided to go on a journey to meet the Queen of Kay.
It must have been fate that I met Suzu. I needed Suzu to guide me to my next mission, the most important mission of my life. When I met her, I immediately knew that Suzu was just like me. I learned so much from her about this world, and it made me realize that this world was so very twisted, and that someone like me or Suzu couldn't be happy in it. Or rather, it seemed as if this world resented us. Am I wrong about it all? It's just that everything seems so unfair to me. There are rulers in Yoma, yet none of those things appear to have anything to do with us Kaikyaku. We just wanted to live peacefully. That's all we wanted. What have I done to deserve this? I don't understand. My girlfriend said that this was her world. She was convinced of it. But she was wrong. This world itself is wrong. That kid is now dead. He was supposed to be an assassin who had been sent to kill me. But for some reason, he was terminated.
That makes for an interesting story. I've always wondered about it myself. Why must a Kirin choose a ruler for us? Why must we even have a ruler in the first place? If the world was made to fall into ruin without rulers, then the world should have been in ruins when it was created. This world is wrong at its very core, so I shall do everything in my power to fight its divine providence. So what if I anger the heavens, let the heavens try to punish me for it? Until they do, I shall continue to live in the exact manner in which I please.
What's your purpose?
Why don't you come and work for me for a little while?
But I tried to kill you. Why would you still want me to work for you?
Whether the heavens will really punish me is unknown. Which side is wrong? Us or this world? Are you not at all interested in finding out? Then come with me. I am the chief of this town. I am Shoko.
Suzu, an unusual name. It does not sound like the name of this world. Could she be a... Yoko thought as she bit her lips. The 12 Kingdoms, Episode 32. A Great Distance in the Wind. The Sky at Dawn, Chapter 9.